Man, TikTok, I got an opinion. Okay. So this is for like I've been seeing like videos on married women who talk about like they're bored. So they're bored or they're tired of just being like they're just they consider themselves just a wife or just a mother. Okay. I'm neither a wife or a mother. Let me tell you what you're not missing by having a good husband and babies. You missing these streets, okay? There ain't nothing out here. I'm telling you, we who are not necessarily out in the streets, but we see the streets, we in the crib, waiting for the husband to be a wife that you don't want to be. Trust me, baby. Otherwise, it's you're either a wife or you single waiting to be a wife or you a hoe. And being a hoe don't pay, okay? You get run down, run out. They what you call run through. Cause at the end of the day, okay, so I'm not married. I ain't got no kids. So I'll tell you what I'm doing is I'm healing, which if we had done in the first place, we would have realized that being bored or having peace is what is okay. Oh, this is a topic. This is something, y'all. Okay. I am healing, which every woman should do before marriage. So I'm healing. I'm learning about myself. I'm finding out what God has for me to do. I'm getting in my purpose. I'm learning faithfulness. I'm learning honesty. I'm learning truth because I have to sit with Jesus every day. He's jealous. He don't play about me and he expects accountability. He holds me responsible. So when God says, love the Lord your God above all other things and everything else will be added to you, okay? Love the Lord your God with all of that. Love him. And then in the scripture it says, and when you're married, you'll submit to your husband as you had unto the Lord. If you don't submit unto the Lord before you get a husband, you're not going to know how, you're not going to understand value. You're not going to understand what's valuable in life. Because you being able to go out here and do what? And do what? You can have friends when you married. You got a support system. You got a good man because these videos are about women who will sit there and say, he's a great husband, he goes to work, he's faithful, he's a great father. I mean, okay, so you saying that like that's a negative, but the thing that you don't like is that's boring or whatever. So you got married for the image, but you didn't get married and understand that's the ultimate, that's what God prepares us for. So I'm prepared to be bored. I'm prepared to settle. I'm already worked out. God has already worked it out. He's working that out, right? I'm learning accountability, responsibility, self-sustainment, self-responsibility, self-accountability. I shouldn't have to have my husband tell me something that I should see in myself, okay? There are some things he should see, but there are some things I know is true that I'm not acknowledging as true. And being with God will help you get your priorities and the truth right, because the enemy is going after marriages. He has convinced women who are in great marriages that there is something better outside of the marriage. There's nothing better outside the marriage. Adultery will get you burnt up. Adultery will bring you shame, your family shame. It'll embarrass your kids. It's nothing, because it's lust. And then guess what? He gonna come, he gonna go. The next one gonna come, he gonna go. Next one gonna come, he gonna go. Then you would have divorced a good man that you had been with, and then you would have been searching for something to satisfy, which only God can satisfy, and change your desires to desire what is good, which is the husbands that seem to be described that women don't see. So men, it's not your fault that she doesn't see you, but you probably should have made sure that she had submitted to the Lord first so that she could have valued you appropriately, because God can hold her accountable, make her look in the mirror, ignore all her screams, tantrums, and tears. He ain't moved. Trust me, I know. He don't care. He cares, but he don't care when it comes to like, you're just being a crybaby. You need to do this, and it's not that big a deal, right? There are times where God was like, he was at it. He was just said it like he's straight like that. God gotta be straight like that, because women, I don't know. Cause I was Miss Sensitive Susie. I'm talking about everybody's fault. No, but yeah, I wanted a relationship. Now, I couldn't fake it so much to where I could get a husband and get a good man. I couldn't fake it that good how some of y'all be faking it. So I was told from the flow up, so I was see-through. So I had to do real work to be filled in from the inner. I didn't have that manipulative. I couldn't do it like that. I knew I wasn't ish. I knew it. And ultimately, God gave me value by giving me more morals and teaching me the value of things like patience and, not keeping records of wrongs, and like actually, being able to see somebody as myself and it just not be about me. He took me out of me because one day I will be a mother. A mother can't just think about herself. And if you don't understand the sufferings of Christ, if you have not been crucified, if your flesh has not been crucified, you don't know what it is to suffer. There are times where God has, yes, made me suffer, but then there will be a time where I will suffer no more. But I have to understand, I have to feel what Christ felt so I can feel what men felt, so that we can come to a place of true, genuine love, immovable love that endures, love that never gives up, love that never quits, love that endures forever. And love covers a multitude of sins. And that's because love is not easy. Love is sacrificial. But you will not see your husband as worth it until you see Christ is worth it. You won't see men or women as worth anything unless you understand who Christ is and you value him. If you don't value him, you'll never value a man or a woman. And I realize that if I can't love the one who has supplied me, sustained me, kept me, I could never respect a man. If I cannot be grateful, thankful, show gratitude, and speak to God every day, I'm not going to be grateful, gratitude, thankful, and speak to my man every day. I'm going to be as distant as my flesh has been trained based off of how I grew up. If it's entitlement, it's your entitlement. God has to unroot the evil so you can see what's in front of your face. That's why another person from the outside can say, dang, girl, what is you talking about? You had this great man. You tripping. You out in these streets for what? Ain't nothing but demons out in these streets. Ain't nothing but heartache out in these streets. Ain't nothing but disease out in these streets. And the people who are out in the streets are out in the streets. The people who don't want to be in the streets are with Jesus, getting trained up, especially the women who want love and want more. But we know that we are gonna have to give something up. And women don't know nothing about, worldly women don't know nothing about sacrifice. Until you feel what Christ felt, until you pick up a cross and you walk and you suffer and you feel the pain and the anguish of what you've caused because of your own sin, you won't have compassion. You won't care about what that man feel. You won't care about what he got to say. And that's the problem. You got women abandoning their babies. That's crazy, but it's not. I get it. I understand, because God had not been able to do the work in them to make them have eyes to see the value that was in front of them, because they did not know what was valuable. They believed what the world told them was valuable. So they did the whole imagery. They did the whole wedding. They do the whole makeup, because externally they made it look like they was a wife. And then that man ended up finding out that he didn't marry a wife. He married a hoe. He married somebody who pretended. And I'll tell you, the world is so full of pretending. So the only way that we get through this or past this is we go to Christ first, and then he directs our path from there. You know what I mean? But we be trying to do stuff like for ourselves and him not involved, and then that stuff happen. And it's like, I ain't judging. I'm just saying that's why that is like that. I'm done.